Tonight, I want to talk to you about waiting. Not the kind of waiting where nothing is happening. The kind where everything is happening just underground, out of sight, where you can't see it yet. There's a story in Exodus, chapter 17, where the people of Israel are dying of thirst in the wilderness. They had already seen the sea split in front of them. They had already eaten bread that fell from the sky every morning. And still, when they hit a dry patch called Rephidim, they panicked. They turned on Moses and said, "Why did you bring us out here to die?" God's answer wasn't punishment. He told Moses to take the staff he'd used to part the sea, walk out to a rock at Horeb, and strike it. And water came out of solid stone, not a trickle. Enough for over 1 million people and their livestock. Here's what I want you to notice. The water was already inside the rock. It didn't get created in that moment. It had been there. What was needed was someone willing to walk toward it, staff in hand, while everyone else was busy complaining. That's the first picture I want to leave with you. Sometimes what you're asking for isn't far away. It's sealed inside something that looks like a dead end. And it takes one act of movement, not perfection, just movement, to reach it. The second story is in Judges, chapter 7. Gideon has an army of 32,000 men facing an enemy the text says was thick as locusts. And God tells him he is too many. Not because more soldiers is a bad thing, but because God didn't want the people to look at the victory afterward and say, "Look what we did." He wanted them to know exactly who did it. So Gideon sends home everyone who's afraid. 20,000 men leave. 10,000 remain. Still too many. God has Gideon take them down to the water and watch how they drink. Most of them kneel down, put their faces in the water, and drink without paying attention to anything around them. A small number, 300, scoop the water into their hands and drink standing up, eyes still on the horizon. God chooses the 300, not the strongest, not the bravest on paper. The ones who stayed alert even while doing something as ordinary as drinking water. I think about that a lot, because most of us aren't short on strength. We're short on attentiveness. We get so tired that we put our heads down just to get through the day, and we stop watching for what's coming. The invitation in that story isn't try harder. It's keep your eyes up even in the ordinary moments. The third story is one of the most human moments in the Gospels. Mark chapter 5. A woman had been bleeding for 12 years, under the law of her time, that made her ritually unclean, which meant she couldn't worship in the temple, and anyone who touched her became unclean too. 12 years without being embraced. She'd spent everything she had on doctors and gotten worse, not better. When she hears Jesus is passing through, she doesn't ask for permission. She pushes through a crowd, breaking the social rules of her entire culture to do it, and touches the edge of his cloak. Immediately, the bleeding stops. He turns around and asks, "Who touched me?" His disciples think it's a strange question. Everyone's touching him in a crowd like that. But he knew the difference between a crowd pressing in and one desperate hand reaching out. She comes forward trembling and tells him the whole truth. And he doesn't scold her for breaking the rules to get there. He calls her daughter. He gives her a healing and a homecoming in the same breath. Her prayer wasn't eloquent. It wasn't spoken somewhere official. It was one sentence, said quietly to herself, "If I can just touch his clothes, I'll be made well." If your prayers lately have felt more like that, short, desperate, half-formed, that's not a lesser kind of faith. That's exactly the kind this story honors. Then there's Joseph, sold by his own brothers, enslaved in Egypt, falsely accused, forgotten in prison for 2 extra years after helping a man who promised to remember him and didn't. 13 years between the dream he was given as a teenager and the day it actually came true. He didn't get the woman's kind of answer, sudden, immediate. He got the slow kind. A pit, then a house, then a prison, then, finally, a single day that repaid everything at once. And David, anointed king as a teenager, then sent right back out to the sheep like nothing had happened. Years later, hiding in caves from the very king who was supposed to have been replaced, writing psalms in the dirt that still get prayed today. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. He didn't write that after it was over. He wrote it in the middle with no ending in sight. Here's what I want to take from all 4 of these. God doesn't answer everyone the same way on the same timeline. Some of you are the woman in the crowd, one moment away from something turning around completely. Some of you are Joseph, in a long middle stretch that doesn't look like anything yet. And that's not because you've been forgotten. Some of you are the 300, just being asked to stay alert in the ordinary parts of your day instead of checking out. None of that is a verdict on your worth. It's just where you are in the story. So if you're in a waiting season, my encouragement isn't wait harder or have more faith so it comes faster. It's smaller than that. Keep walking toward the rock. Keep your eyes up while you drink the ordinary water of an ordinary day. Reach out, even if your prayer is only one sentence long. And if you're in your own version of cave, write your psalm anyway, even without an ending yet. That's it. That's the whole message. Wherever you are in your waiting, you're not disqualified from what's coming. If this helped you today, I'd love to hear where you're at in the comments. And if you want more reflections like this, subscribe. I put these out regularly.